Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful Friday we have here today. And speaking of this Friday, this evening we're going to have one of our other movies in the park. It's going to be Baby Boss. It is sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union. The movie itself will start about dusk, but come over earlier than that and have some association with your neighbors, have some discussion, bring some games and play, and just have a good time. We expect to have a good time tonight. I just want to take a minute and say thank you to our firefighters. If you've been paying attention to the news, you know over the last month we've had several fires that had the potential to create some real damage in our community. And our firefighters are diligent in getting there and getting things taken care of. And so far we've been able to take care of this with very minimal damage. We need to recognize that that's because they have trained, they're good at what they do. What a blessing it is to have them. We could have had some tragedy in our communities over the last month, and I just want to say thank you to those men and women who dedicate themselves to this service for our community. I want to make sure that you are all aware that we are in the middle of passing our budget for the city of Chubbuck. In our last council meeting this last Wednesday, we passed a proposed budget. That budget will be scheduled to be printed in the paper 2 times between now and the 1st of August, which is our next council meeting. If you want to have a copy of that and you don't take the journal or you don't know where to find it there, you can come down to the city offices and we certainly would be glad to provide you a copy of that budget so you can review it. But we will have a public hearing about that budget on the 1st of August at our city council meeting at 6 o'clock. So if you'd like to come and participate or just come and see the process, you're sure welcome to do that. If you have comments, we'd be glad to hear them from you. We have a lot of needs right now in our community that we're talking about taking care of, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, but this all has to happen through the budget process also. So thank you to the council and all of our staff that work so diligently to help this budget come together. The last step will be the following meeting on the 15th of August. We will actually pass a budget for the city of Chubbuck. Along that line, we have a lot of facility needs in the community right now with our police and our fire and our regular city hall. And so that's part of this discussion this year is we feel like we have come up with a system where we can fund those things without putting much more of a burden upon our taxpayers. So again, pay attention to these things. We want to make sure that folks understand the whats and the whys and the whens, and we'll be having those discussions over the next couple of months. I had a real opportunity to attend a meeting with a group that we belong to called the Eastern Idaho Partnership. I've talked to you once before about this, but this was a wonderful meeting. I attended it with Chief Giberson. We had the opportunity to attend with our Special Assistant United States Attorney, but our United States Attorney that represents Idaho was there at this meeting also. They reported to us the things that they've been doing, and my goodness, they've been busy. I have a full report here. I won't read that whole thing to you, but just a summation of it. They have taken care of 76 cases that involve drugs, 37 cases that involve firearms and ammunition, and this has included 20 cities and 12 counties in our region, and we're so grateful for the work they do. The final page of this report puts a summation of what has happened, and one of the most impressive things, and this is the reason, one of the main reasons that we started this organization, is by doing things this way through the federal court system instead of our state court system, we have been able to save the Idaho Department of Corrections close to $7 million. So it's really been a successful thing. We have a wonderful assistant attorney. He works very hard and diligently for us. And I just thought it'd be good for you to understand some of the processes that are going through. Again, our law enforcement in this community are fantastic, doing a wonderful job, and we're grateful for each of them. We're doing some restructuring and revising in our police department, and I'm just tickled to see the things that are happening there. Very positive things that are, again, going to be a great blessing to our community. I want to talk just a little bit about water needs. Here we are in the middle of July, towards the end of July. We've had somewhat of a dry summer. Fortunately, we've been able to have enough water, but I think each of you know that some of our water needs get stretched to the limit sometimes. And I'm happy to report to you that our well number 6 that we've been working on is coming to a conclusion, and we expect that that will be online and servicing our community this fall. And so we're thankful for that work. But if I could just suggest that each of us through the remainder of this summer be very careful with our water use. I think sometimes that's something we take for granted, and I think it's important for us to recognize the great blessing it is to have the water and the available water that we have in this area. But it certainly is a limited resource, and so we should take care of it. So grateful for each of you, and I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you again next week.